the car and take me home. Here we are, and you're too drunk to hear a word I say. Start the car and take me home. There's no light, Mama, I can't see it all. There's no one left to break this fall. Mama, there's no one at all. Somewhere in the end we're all insane. So think lighter, save us from this pain that's in the end of all this pain. In the night there's a light upon this house on a hill. Here comes the darkness, it's eating at my soul. Now that the spark has gone out of control, this fire is raging, I can't find the door. I just wanna die here, but you want it more. Lost between Elvis and suicide, ever since the day we died. Well, I've got nothing left to lose. After chains that's in rock and roll couldn't save my moral soul. Well, I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left to lose. As I look out of my bedroom window, is it all real or just fantasy? I have lost touch with what makes me human. I have lost touch with reality. It's all too much for me. All too much for me. Some people say life is like a lie. Take it day by day, never knowing why. Lay my head under the water, lay my head under the sea. Excuse me, sir, am I your own daughter? Won't you take me back and see? Never wanted to feel, never wanted you to steal my heart. Never wanted to know, never wanted to show I'm weak. You don't want me, no, you don't need me. Like I